Welcome Intensified Algebra. This is Mr. Villanueva. In today's lesson, you will focus on the following highlighted goals from this topic. Examine and reflect on your perceptions of your math ability, learn how intelligence is malleable, not fixed, and understanding how working on challenging problems affects the brain. People generally believe one of the two opposing views about intelligence or smartness. Some believe that its intelligence does not change much during a person's lifetime. They're wrong. In this topic, you'll explore scientific proof that a person's intelligence can and does change. People used to think that we are born smart or not smart, or somewhere in between, and that we remain at this level of intelligence for an entire lifetime. So if we look at the slides here, we have a group of people. These people here think they are not smart. These somewhat smart and smart. Okay, we're going to go to the next slide. But it turns out that this view of intelligence is not correct. Your teachers may have already let you in on this secret. Research has shown that you have control over your own intelligence and understanding in any subject. Thousands of former AYD students have experienced this for themselves, and you can too. How do you get smarter? As you may have guessed, learning involves the brain, and it turns out that the brain is much more flexible than we ever imagined. Study this animation to see how you can grow your brain. For example, when working really hard on something new, your brain actually gets more complex. This means that it grows new and stronger connections between neurons. Neurons are special cells in the brain that transmit information. So here we're going to take a deep look into the brain. Here's a certain section, and we have our neurons, our special cells. Okay, let's take a look at that again. So when you experience something, it fires off through these neurons. Okay, and the more times you do something, the more connections you will make. Okay, let's take a look at the next slide. Here we see a lot of connectivity here. And we will go on to the next slide. Okay, your brain is made up of approximately 100 billion special cells called nerve cells or neurons. Okay, now these are parts of the neurons. So if I click on one of these, for example, the cell body, I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and what's highlighted in yellow are the cell bodies, which, let's see, the cell body acts as a command center and helps maintain the cell. Okay, it makes sense to me that this would be called the cell body because these here are some type of extremities here. Let's take a look at what dendrites are. Okay, the dendrites are highlighted here in yellow. I'm kind of wondering why this one's not highlighted. Okay, these dendrites here, these are also dendrites, but this one is not. Let's see, dendrites receive information from other neurons and carry it to the cell body. So the dendrites receive information. So here they're receiving, but what about here? This one here says it's receiving, so this one must be giving. Okay. Let's take a look at axon. Axons carry information away from the cell body and direct it to the other neurons. Okay, so these ones I call these inputs because they're putting in information, and these as outputs. So they're sending out information. So axons are, in my opinion, are considered outputs. Okay, they carry information to other cells. And let's take a look at this animation. When information is sent from one neuron to another, it follows across a gap called a synapse. As information moves across the synaptic gap, it is communicated by chemicals called neurotransmitters. So there's actually a little bit of a gap here, which is called a synapse. On the next slide, and you can do this online. Let's see, I'll read the core activity. Can you solve the puzzle to show your understandings of parts of the brain? Drag the tiles to complete the sentences. So on this page, you will grab one of the tiles. Okay, let's see. The main job of blank is to transmit information or messages. Okay, so you will pick from one of these four. I'm just going to pick one of these here and set it in the box. Okay, so you guys can do this on your own. Once you have finished, I'm just going to like randomly put these in here. Okay, I got neurons twice, so I know I'm going to get something wrong here. I'm going to submit my answer. And it says, after one try, your answers are partially correct. Try again. Okay, so you will have to fill these in again. Okay, it takes time to form new synapses and build superhighways in the brain. Use the animation to explore how neuron pathways must be activated many times for changes to occur. So when you do something, when you experience something, you are firing these neurons. So you can see a light signal is being sent. Okay, and not a whole lot happened, but if you do it again, not much happened here. Let's try it again. Okay, well, you know what? Let's try again. I'm not going to give up, so. Oh, okay, look, I have some brain growth here. I have some cell development. I'm going to fire it again or try this skill again, whatever it is. It could be, if you're thinking about like when babies learn how to walk, when a 1-year-old learns how to walk, he first takes a step and it's like really hard. Okay, but he keeps trying to take steps. Okay, if he gets one step, on the next time he may get one, maybe he'll get 2 steps. But if you keep firing the neurons, keep trying to take steps, I'm just going to keep firing these, and more connections will grow. Okay, maybe after walking, he might take the next step. He might be able to run or to jump. Okay. You guys have been walking for, 13, 14, 15 years. Okay, you guys are professional walkers. You guys have all kinds of dendrites and axons and synapses. I'm just going to keep firing these. And after a while, I become very efficient. Okay, in addition to growing new connections, neurons get in sync. Over time, it takes less energy for each neuron to send information to other neurons on these efficient pathways. Okay, for example, now that you're professional walkers, you guys don't even have to think to walk. Okay, when you were a year old, you really had to think about it, and you really had to focus and concentrate. Okay, scientists used to think that as people grew older, the brain's connections became fixed, unchangeable. But research has now shown that the brain never stops changing. People can learn at any age, no matter how old we are. We can form new connections in the brain and strengthen existing ones. And there's a particularly good news for you. It's especially easy to grow your brain at 2 points in life: adolescence and infancy. So you are in a prime time for learning. And let's go ahead and go over this fill in the blank. Okay. The brain physically blank when you learn. Go ahead and take a look at your choices. I want you guys to be thinking about this before I answer. Okay, the brain physically stays the same when you learn. I don't think that's right. Let's go with changes. Blank is a prime time for learning. Easier is a prime time for learning. That doesn't make sense. Middle age, adolescence. You guys are at a prime time for learning. Stronger and more complex connections make information transmission. Let me read that again. Stronger and more complex connections makes information transmission. Which one do you guys think? That's a tough one. I'm giving you guys a little bit longer of a time, and myself. I'm going to go with easier. New and stronger connections are made when you work hard at something. When you work blank, you get smarter because your blank increases. Think about what goes in the blank. I'm going to say when you work harder, you get smarter because your blank increases. I'm going to say understanding. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and submit my answers. And we did it. Okay, that concludes lesson 2. Topic 2, lesson 1. Have a good day, guys, and we'll see you next time.